I thought I saw a putty cat. I did saw a putty cat.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we all know the news already. Netflix has acquired WB Warner Brothers for the summarily princely price of $82.7 billion. Let me check those figures again. Netflix, a company worth $440.5 billion. That's more than what Dr. Evil asked for all the way back in 1997.
$100 billion.
And they recently acquired WB. Not all of it, just the main key components. Because if you want a reminder of what Netflix is all about, here it is for you, courtesy of Google AI, which I do not trust one little bit, maybe about 70%, and the 30% is all bull doo-doo. The Netflix mantra, what is it all about? Corporate cultural mantras from No Rules, Rules, which is, I guess, is a book. Lead with context, not control, giving employees deep understanding rather than strict rules. Talent density, oh, I say. Candor, frequent feedback, which is interesting considering the fact that Netflix has no clue how to program or even make original content. Remember, Netflix wasn't actually the company that was meant to get the title of biggest streamer in the world. It was meant to be Blockbuster Video, but Blockbuster Video did not understand the concept of streaming films on the internet, to paraphrase what they thought at the time. So sad, because I think if Blockbuster had gotten hold of making this their own entity, it could have been a different story altogether. But that's then, and we're talking about now, folks.
You've got me! Who's got you?
Feeling sad? Then watch Jason King, Your Happy Pill.
Before I actually get into the main topic of this video today, I just want to talk about the fact that, yeah, it's going to take 12 to 18 months for Netflix to get congressional approval to actually acquire certain bits and pieces of WB. And we've all seen how this goes down, right? I'm going to get to that part in a minute as well. But one thing I want to touch on is Disney acquiring Fox. And under the Disney umbrella, do you think we're going to get the Shogun TV series with Hiroyuki Sanada on a physical 4K Blu-ray release? I don't think so, because Disney want to milk their crap out of that and other high quality shows for as long as possible, because physical media, folks, is the biggest curse word amongst the streaming giants out there. Which is weird when you consider Disney had a long legacy like WB Warner Brothers with releasing physical beloved titles onto Blu-rays, or before that videos and DVDs, of course. Now, case in point, folks, when it comes to Disney, they do release certain select titles to 4K. Now, don't judge me. I know you're going to do that, but Hawkeye, yeah, this was a shameless purchase because I'm a big Jeremy Renner fan, and also Hailee Steinfeld in 4K in a sexy jumpsuit is worth the price alone. And yeah, we know Yelena Belova's in this, as played by Florence Pugh, the 4-inch high midget. But I skip those scenes and I watch what I want to watch. It's a guilty pleasure, and there you go. Also, just to point out to you, Daredevil, the original, the Netflix shows, all legitimate releases, folks. I bought from Amazon quite a few years ago. Haven't opened these ones yet, funny enough, because ironically, I'm still watching them on Disney Plus, which is the weird things. But these actually have all the Netflix logos right there, so you know you're getting the real deal. Why haven't they released season 3 to round this all off? Why isn't seasons 2 of The Punisher on official Blu-ray to buy? I know you can buy the bootleg comedies. Well, it is a comedy of errors. You can actually buy the bootleg Punisher 1 and 2. They've been downloaded as torrent files, re-encoded onto a disc that has the actual artwork is 3D printed on. So we have all of that. But besides all of that, I actually wanted to talk about the Warner Brothers Games division that's been snapped up by Netflix. I think this is really interesting. We should get into this one, folks.
It would be a shame to get blood all over my nice new outfit.
Yes, Netflix is acquiring WB Games. A Warner Brothers spokesman, because spokesperson just sounds utterly ridiculous, has confirmed the video game division will be acquired by Netflix, which will take about 12 to 18 months, and also everything else I mentioned at the top of this video, along its wider streaming and television businesses, because that's what really interests Netflix more than anything else. Notably, a Warner Brothers Discovery spokesman has said that Warner Brothers Games is included in the transaction. When discussing the move, Netflix, which has been attempting and generally struggling to make inroads with the video game industry, because funny enough, folks, you can actually game on Netflix, but it's through your mobile or cell phone. So that's pretty much where it stands at the moment. Largely focused on the benefits of purchasing WB's vast suite of intellectual properties and television and movie studios, including HBO and HBO Max. While we're on the topic of this, folks, James Gunn still has his job for now at WB because he's under contract, but when that contract runs out, he might be given the old heave-ho. He could be given the old heave-ho before you know it. Again, all the rumors about Zack Snyder coming back into the fray as the savior of the DCEU, we don't know that yet. Zack Snyder is tied up with Netflix right now, so that crossover to WB would actually make some sense, but I don't know. Maybe you can have Zack Snyder's DCEU in tandem with the James Gunn DCEU, or rather DCU. That would be interesting. I don't know how that would work. That would be a bit of a logistical nightmare if you ask me. But going back to this article here, folks, because I want to just discuss a few more things. The acquisition will improve our offering and accelerate our business for decades to come, said co-CEO Netflix guy Greg Peters in a press release. WB has helped define entertainment for more than a century and continues to do so with phenomenal creative execs and production capabilities. With our global reach and proven business model, we can introduce a broader audience to the worlds they create. You know, when I kind of read all this spiel, it's almost like AI generated this, and I wonder if Netflix might be implementing something like that here as well. So when it comes to the games division of WB Games, have a look at this list here, folks, because it is pretty insane. I mean, first of all, the biggest elephant in the room is Suicide Squad killed the Justice League.
I'll be frank, Dr. Freas. You want Task Force X to take you and your wife back to the Ice Age.
For a modern gaming audience.
I am willing to bet that when Netflix goes through this list, if, of course, their deal is officially approved by Congress and the FTC, all the like, I wonder if the people at Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League will have to start finding jobs very, very soon, because they're threatening to make a new Batman game. It ain't gonna work, because Batman is Superman, and I'll say any DC property that's considered hot, Netflix will want to keep a very close eye on. Game of Thrones, maybe to a lesser degree. I forgot that Fear 3 or the Fear games were all under the WB banner. The Fear games are really good, but 3... I think is a bit, not so great, but people still like it. So you have all of these games. Yeah, Warner Brothers video games properties. It's kind now what I think, if because video games is a bit of a, it's an inroad for Netflix, as the article states, right? I just have this really bad feeling that once the deal is approved, we don't know, things can go wrong. David Ellison from Paramount apparently embarrassed the company yesterday with a very embarrassing letter to Netflix. I don't know what that's all about, but my faith in David Ellison has gone down the toilet, and I've shat on him as well on his face because he fired Taylor Sheridan from shows like Tulsa King. But by the way, Tulsa King season 3, it was terrible. Yeah, so back on point here, folks. I mean, I was going off a bit of a ramble there, but I had to get that part out about David Ellison. That man is probably done more damage to Paramount than he ever imagined. Can you imagine being him this weekend at his multi-million-dollar ranch somewhere in Wyoming or Tennessee? He won't be having a good time. He'll be drinking his sorrows away. But I think with the acquisition of WB Games, Mortal Kombat, obviously, the other big hitter, I think Netflix, they may choose to start streaming these games on their platform. Whether they actually depend on a third-party company or the company within WB or under Netflix to produce these games and sell them on physical media is another big question mark I have, because again, while video games on physical media still do well, and obviously they're all 4K for the most part for the AAA titles, you have to buy them and still download most of the data to get the games running, because remember the glorious days, Xbox 360 and the PS3, where the game came on the disc, but you had to get the few patches and software updates, but the game was pretty much good to go. Obviously, it's not like that these days, but I don't know if Netflix would even have time to invest in such resources. So I don't know how that's going to go. Will Netflix actually cross over their video games to Steam as well? How will that work? I don't think anybody's thought that through. But the other thing I actually want to bring your attention to is that we've learned from acquisitions of, say, things like, can you just come here, camera? Thank you very much. Of things like Microsoft acquiring Bethesda and obviously more recently Activision. That hasn't gone down well because they've made firings aplenty. The same thing will happen when Netflix fully acquires, if they fully acquire WB and its key assets. James Gunn might have a job for now, but if Superman, Man of Tomorrow, the sequel, is ill-received, he'll be out before 2030, because again, lots of things rely on contracts. Theatrical releases will have to be contractually obliged until 2029 or 2030. So if Netflix is successful with its acquisition of WB, they have to honor those contracts, and therefore what happens in between. So other films that Netflix makes will be available on that platform day one, but in terms of WB's contractually obligated releases for movie theaters in America and obviously other parts of the world, they have to be honored. So I will be curious to see what happens, because right now it all sounds great. Personally, Ted Sarandos, I wouldn't trust that guy any further than I could throw him into a pool of sharks.
He hosted a very nice little dinner for me, and we just hit it off immediately. I've come back since with my wife.
If you witness something that seems a little DEI, don't hesitate to reach out to a white manager.
This is Netflix. They're going to look at the live service element of a video game, how they failed with Justice League and the Suicide Squad, and perhaps try to monetize them, maybe using NFT blockchains in video games just to generate cash. Netflix doesn't care about content, they care about making money and analytical data, right? But on that one, ladies and gentlemen, if I were you and if you were me, I would definitely catch you catching me for the return of the next video.
Approved! Look at you. You who were once so proud. Go now and never return.
Go home, folks.